right, welcome to our third and final review of the week, and the second part of our double dose of Shovel Knight, as we are reviewing Shovel Knight Showdown, the multiplayer mascot fighter that got attached to the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. And indeed, this is the final part of the Treasure Trove. If you missed our Shovel Knight King of Cards review, it should be like just right alongside this one in the archives. If you're listening to this at a later date, but skipping the circumstances around Shovel Knight, the Showdown component here was another Kickstarter stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 4-player battle mode originally, if I'm remembering correctly. It has been like 5 years since that thing, maybe 6. Like, it's been a long ass time since.
Yeah, the people who backed Shovel Knight by Kickstarter got their money's worth, unless they died before now.
Right. Though it's also worth noting that there is a caveat with Showdown. This standalone expansion does not appear in the portable versions of Shovel Knight, the last gen portables.
The 3DS and the Vita?
Yeah. As far as I understand, those are not getting Showdown due to the nature of those portables.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder to set up a multiplayer match than, say, the Nintendo Switch. But anyway, Shovel Knight Showdown it's a fighter in the vein of Smash Brothers. Very, very, very in the vein of Smash Brothers.
Controls are simple intentionally.
Yeah, it's like, the goal of the fights usually isn't to defeat the opponent, though there's been an additional step added in. Like, I'd say the big twist on what this game does to the mascot fighter formula are, instead of knocking your opponents off, although you can completely do that, there are lives. You can knock people into the lava, although you have health bars in this game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do that, but usually the goal is to get a certain number of gems or something.
Yeah, mostly the gems.
Yeah, the default mode is play to number of gems.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other possible modes.
Yes. And another reason why Shovel Knight Showdown came into existence is they wanted to give the other members of the Order of No Quarter and every character that didn't get a campaign.
Yeah, so that people like me who really wanted Propeller Knight to get a single player mode can at least play as Propeller Knight.
Right. The problem is the single player mode is just not very compelling.
There's not much to it. It's about as much as most fighting games have, which is play as all the characters to see who wins.
Right.
Spoilers, it's the one you're playing.
Well, there's actual story, and I think it's relevant to the overall Shovel Knight mythos.
Mm-hmm.
I just got really bored of playing the single player really quickly. And it's laid out in typical Smash Brothers mode. Like, the first battle, it's a regular gym battle. Then the next battle is you fight 2, and you have to defeat them. And so on and so forth. And there are about 8 playable characters at the onset. And if I'm remembering correctly, the expanded roster clocks out to 20. Because it's not just like the Orders of No Quarter and the Enchantress. Characters like Mona also become playable characters, up into and including elite mooks like the Liquid Ninja.
Who, remember, was one of the all of the original characters that were back, that were the create a character characters, I think. which is Baz, Reza, the Liquid Samurai / Ninja.
Yeah.
And the Phantom Striker, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, all those characters are eventually playable, but it does the Smash Brothers thing of you got to unlock them. And I know that has its controversies.
Mm-hmm.
I've also heard that the AI gets really dickish at the harder modes, but I got too bored with this to really try that out. I mean, my ultimate summation of the single-player mode is functional, but pretty frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
It's also incredibly short in comparison to like an actual Smash Brothers campaign.
Well, classic mode is pretty simple. It's just there's a lot more to Smash Brothers than classic mode.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, this game isn't operating on near the scale of a Smash Brothers game. Like even the the first one. Except in terms of roster. But the real fun, like in Smash Brothers, is to be found in the multiplayer. Unfortunately, our experience with the multiplayer is limited because
we tried to play it on Steam, but the way to play it on Steam involves using Steam whatever Connect.
Remote play together,
which not the best, let me tell you.
We did eventually get it working with 2 players. But it worked okay. But like 4 players just
the frame rate just plummets.
And that is a problem because this game is really geared towards multiplayer party fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that will definitely factor into the final calculations here. Because when we got it to work, there was a lot of fun to be had in a lot of that chaotic, goofy group fun that you get with Mario Kart, Mario Party, Smash Brothers, that sort of thing. But getting that to work over the PC is painful because it was made for local co-op.
Yeah.
And it's also, this is a 2D platformer kind of affair. Even in Smash Brothers form, latency issues are going to be fucking just a killer to this kind of thing. In terms of like actual fight mechanics, they are pretty Smash Brothers-y, but it depends on your character. But like
everybody has a regular move and a special move,
right? But some some character like Shovel Knight, he has a charge attack. He has the charge shovel, for example. Or Shield Knight, she has both moves with the shield and without the shield. So there is some.
Big shield is a slow boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
And when she doesn't have it, she can use her small shield as a bashing attack.
Yeah. And so once again, it's still pretty simple. It's still pretty. A 5-year-old could operate this kind of fighting game controls levels. Which once again is very, very in line with Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm. And arguably the point, these games are designed to be functional for kids. So. Yeah,
it's like Shovel Knight is probably a good kids game. Even with the difficulty, we grew up on hard NES games.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, in terms of like the arenas, once again, very Smash Brothers-y. It's like I don't think that you get any like random events type of arena, although there are stage gimmicks like the lava arena, there's a
Mhm.
switch you can hit which will change the wood on the side. You got to watch that with the projectile attacks. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Especially since a lot of people's projectile moves are, fire.
And these matches go pretty quickly. I think that it's a variable timer, but 2-4 minutes, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Basically, I can sum up this game as a infinitesimal version of Smash Brothers. That's not necessarily a knock against that, but this game is very much a it's not a mini game, but it's definitely not a full-fledged affair either. At least that's the way it came across to me. Even though Showdown gets its own section in the treasure trove, this felt like the least of the expansions, quite honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is you can purchase Showdown independently. I will advocate not doing that on any system. No, this game is not worth $10 alone. As a freebie in the treasure trove, sure, give it a whirl. Although I would recommend if you do that on a console. Probably the Nintendo Switch version, since that would be like the version that's easiest to do multiplayer in. And yeah, Shovel Knight Showdown just pretty much useless on PC due to the way the multiplayer is structured.
Well, unless you have like a home theater PC set up where your PC is basically your console.
Something along those lines. But yeah, it's definitely the weakest segment of the Shovel Knight campaigns. Unfortunate, but that is the estimation of at least me. What about you guys?
I thought it was all right, but yeah, like I wouldn't buy this on its own.
Yeah, it was okay, but like Petty Fan, I wouldn't buy it on its own either.
Yeah, I think. I mean, there's a good amount to it. There's a lot of stuff to unlock for the mode that it is.
Oh, it'll keep you busy.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's got the gameplay chops to keep you busy.
Yeah, it isn't quite as gripping as the main campaigns, in the expansion.
I won't say this is an afterthought, but I can definitely see why this came out at the same time as King of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
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 It's and yeah, and once again, getting the entire treasure trove, completely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to adjust that. Anyway, and yeah, as far as Showdown itself, I'd give it a 5 out of 10, completely average.
Mm-hmm.
And just not sustainable on its own. Oh well, I guess they can't all be winners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still good. It's just like a side mode in a game.
Yeah. That and yeah, I'm a little sad that the Shovel Knight treasure trove experience has concluded. But on the other hand, it's been 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working on this thing for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that they would want to do something else other than Shovel Knight, but like the next announced internally developed game. I know they publish games these days, but like they're developing a thing called Shovel Knight Dig, which makes it sound like something like it's going to be like SteamWorld Dig. but I guess we'll find that out.
Well, digging is supposed to be something he's, good at. What with being the Shovel Knight.
Indeed. Anyway, yeah, so that'll about do it for this week's reviews. Coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, January 8th, we are supposed to be having John Lester of Gamester81. Gamester81, if you've never seen that channel, is a vintage games focused YouTube channel. And it's got an emphasis not just on, like, say, Nintendo nostalgia, which I know there are a ton of YouTube, but, stuff like Atari, ColecoVision, arcade, it's like other segments of, old gaming that that's maybe not as well covered as, say, fucking Super Mario Brothers 1. And Gamester81, they're the channel behind, the Curse of the Mayan game we reviewed not too long ago. It's like I'm still waiting to hear back from the PR agent. It's been the holidays, so communications have been non-existent because everyone's on the fucking holiday. But it's also, this may have to be delayed due to health reasons. Like the latest video on the Gamester81 channel is about John's heart condition, and he's scheduled to get surgery this month, if I'm remembering correctly. So that may come into play here. And if it does, we'll just put on the third installment of our 80 Days Let's Play. Anyway, coming up on Friday, January 10th, our first European interview of the season, or of the year, I should say. Sorry, the season started last year. Yeah. Anyway, we will be having, forgive me if I mispronounce this, but it's a Polish name, Lukasz Rodzinski of Warsaw. Once again, sorry about the tortured pronunciation there, but, foreign names.
Polish is a language.
Yeah, there's no excuse to have this many consonants and things.
I mean, there are reasons. They're just.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just Polish. I really don't like pronouncing Polish names because of that. Anyway, Warsaw, they're the developers of the recently released game called Bee Simulator. I'm like, yes, it is. You do get to play as a bee. Very VR focused title. I'm not sure if it's a VR only title, but I know it's very VR focused. So, we'll see how that goes. He mentioned he was on vacation, but he should be back in Poland by the time of the interview. So, that is what's on tap this week. And until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.